here. Still getting set up. Hello, hello, hello. Mic check. What is up? Can you guys hear me? Take that as a yes. Almost there, guys. This is actually just a test. There we go. Cool, cool, cool. You guys can hear me. All right. So, what's up, guys? I am just really testing out this gear, so I'm not gonna stay super long. But I got a new camera, and trying to, since I'm stuck at home, might as well figure out some live stream stuff. So. Oh, thank you, Roger. Just got them recently. Had 2 more in the books and they got canceled. Okay. This time. So I think what I'm going to do for some of these live streams is just kind of improv for a while, see what happens. No points. like setting up my live stream just like messing around here. But thank you. Okay, see if we have any questions here. Oh yeah, the 61. That was interesting. That was like, yeah, this is a website that I found. I mean, it must have been like 2008, 2009 or something like that. You know, I had a lot of music at the time, and I just started uploading it, and people really kind of latched on. And it was kind of a niche thing, but like there was like a really tight community around it. It was pretty cool. I really enjoyed it. Hey everybody, that's Josiah's my brother. Okay, the mic's kind of low. All right, this is why we do tests, you know. Okay, is that any better? Or maybe the guitar's a little bit too loud. Is this better? Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Actually, let me lower the guitar volume a little bit. How's that volume-wise? How we doing? I mean, it sounds all right in my headphones, but you know, the stream. For any of this, but okay, split the difference. Let's see. I'll do it in post. No, I'll do it like on my mixer. Hey, what's up, dude? This guy got a tattoo with the Cult RAC logo on it. That's pretty rad. That's sick, man. I think I might get that at some point. I don't know. Is it weird if I get it? I don't know. All right, let's try something different. Yeah, so I think he got the tattoo from the music video for Tear You Down. It was a video I did a while back. Obviously the tattoo on me was fake, but yeah. It was like the symbol of this this cult that drank milk. better milk than human flesh, like that other music video. Okay, got some questions here. Yeah. Okay. So Vancouver. Wow. Okay. Yeah. No. Of course, I want to play in Vancouver. You know, we obviously have a tour in June and July. Here, I'm gonna pause this. We have this tour in June and July. But, you know, with all this stuff with the virus, I mean, we kind of have no idea. You know, at first we were like, okay, this is going to be like 2 weeks, but clearly this is going to take a little bit longer. So tour's a little bit in limbo at the moment. You know, as of right now, it's still officially on because we don't have any word from like the actual town or the cities or whatever. Nothing's officially shut down yet. But we do have backup dates, basically. We're sort of preparing, you know. I think the entire music industry as a whole is sort of, you know, in limbo over this because the vast majority of income comes from live performances. So people are freaking out a little bit, including like jumping to live streaming. Cool. Oh, just another question here. Did you get to meet Hilary Duff in person? Yes, I did actually. I'm not like super close with her specifically, but I'm pretty close with Matt, her husband, and yeah. So I've worked a lot with him. Matthew Coma is his artist name, and Winnetka Bowling League is his new band, and he. Yeah, we were doing this Third Eye Blind cover, and it was just for fun, you know. I didn't really think anything of it. And then she was in the studio at the same time, you know, because he was touring a lot, and I think they were trying to spend time together. So she was like hanging around in the studio with him. I felt kind of bad, like trying to get him to like, hey man, can you do this cover, you know? And yeah, so I guess she was in the studio, and she's like, oh, let me jump on the chorus. And he even texted me, he's like, hey man, is it cool if like Hillary? It's like, of course. Of course, this is amazing. So yeah, so that was sort of the beginning of that. And then I also went to their wedding. So that was really nice. I met her there. She's an extremely nice person. Roger, yes, I do have that keychain that you gave me. It's actually, yeah, it's in the other room, but I do have it. I actually use it all the time. I guess maybe I'll answer a couple more questions for getting back into music, but collaboration projects. Okay, so that song with Matt Carney, Carney. I should ask him. That's kind of rude of me. Yeah, so that one was kind of random. Like we actually had the same. Well, I went to school with his manager. And cause we kind of knew each other, and then we were kind of in the same circle. So he had worked with this friend of mine called Falu. So it just like through roundabout ways, I ended up getting hooked up with him, and he needed some production on this song memorized. So he already had the sort of the core of the song written, and basically needed somebody to come in and like produce it and like kind of arrange it and do that kind of thing. So that's what I did with that one. Like it was fairly straightforward. I kind of just like went in and did it. It did, you know, there's not really any kind of crazy story or that interesting, you know, nothing too interesting there. Yeah, no, Hillary did a great job with it. I think she killed it. That was really fun. And like, I never really honestly thought I would have, you know, Hillary Duff on a track. So I definitely appreciate that. And she was so gracious and so nice, like promoting it. She was like promoting it on like CBS and like stuff like that. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna keep messing around here for a bit. And yeah, send through your questions in the meantime. Let's try something different. So this guitar is it's like a, I can't remember if I did this on purpose, but it has 2 E strings on it. Kind of has an interesting effect. I mean, I can't do a lot of the stuff that I usually do, but let's try that. Nah. Cool, let's get into some questions. Okay, what would you recommend to a beginner and aspiring producer? How much music theory do you know? How well do you play the piano? So I'm actually kind of bad at piano. It's not really my preferred instrument. Yeah, I'm kind of more, I've always been more of a guitar player, and I just prefer that. As far as the other part of your question, yeah, where to begin? I mean, I think really you just have to have sort of this like insatiable passion for it. I mean, like, it's kind of what it takes, and you have to sort of like live and breathe this stuff. And it's hard for me to like sit here and give you like step by step of like how to get there, but it's that's kind of where it started for me. Like I just like devoured everything I possibly could and tried to learn everything I could. I actually don't know music theory formally. You know, I know kind of the basics, everything that I could need, but like a lot of the chord voicings and like things like that, I just do it by ear. And I prefer it that way in the sense because it gives me the freedom to, you know, just like I'm not thinking about the theory of what's correct and what isn't. I'm just like going by like how it feels, if that makes sense. Yeah, so if I ever get that cult tattoo, we'll take a photo. Although, yeah, so is it weird if I get tattoos of my own logo? I think that's kind of weird. Maybe not. It's like wearing your own merch. You're not supposed to, you know. But, you know, who made that rule anyway? Oh yeah, repeating motion. Yeah, old school. Wrote that with my friend Carl. So as far as playing sleeping lessons, it's funny because like so often, you know, when I record these things, like I don't, you know, I play them once or twice at most, maybe 3 or 4 times just to get the take right. But I have no like, how should I put it? Like, I don't memorize any of this stuff. In fact, like when I tour, I have to like go back and learn all this stuff, and because I use all these weird tunings too, and it's actually kind of a nightmare to figure it out, because I'm not thinking about live at all when I'm writing. I don't want to be limited by that, you know. Oh yeah, I guess this is kind of like the intro to Should Have Guessed. Okay, so the original RAC stuff, yeah, I wish it was more of an exciting story. It's nothing too crazy. Basically, like I was in college, and I wanted to start this essentially a company, you know, like a remixing company, like a service type of, like a creative service, and yeah, it was the idea is like I would reach out to labels and they would hire me to do remixes and whatnot, and then with that idea in mind, I also needed more people involved so I could carry the workload. But the workload wasn't actually crazy from the beginning, and pretty much everybody was like kept asking me to do the remixes. Like I tried to push work to like the other guys and stuff like that, which are super talented and amazing, but like I guess like they wanted the particular sound that I was doing, and that just prevailed over time, and like people kept asking for me specifically, and no matter how much I tried, I couldn't get people to go for the other guys, and I think that was maybe just like sort of a structural error in like the way that it was built from the start. But you know, regardless, it ended up turning into much more of a solo project, and you know, especially once I started doing original work, then it was like, yeah, it was pretty much all me. Although Carl and I did tour for a very long time, and Andrew mixed my first 2 records, so it's like, you know, we're all working together anyway. It's just a technicality. Okay, so thoughts on turning a 4-bar loop into a song. I mean, that's usually how it works for me. I mean, this is kind of whatever. I just kind of threw this together now, but like, this is something that I would, if I was like really into it, I would, you know, take this part and then maybe write like, or let me see if I can, or like a pre-chorus. Here, let me see if I can time that. Maybe not that. So like just kind of like a lead-in type of thing, something just to differentiate the pre-chorus from like a chorus. Obviously, if this is going to be a chorus, like I'm going to add more to it, like. That sounds like, it doesn't sound great, but you get the idea. So the question, if, yeah, so I think like most places in the US, depending on where you are, a lot of cities are on complete lockdown actually. So I mean, you can still like go to the grocery store and order food and whatnot, but yeah, like all bars and restaurants, like sit-in restaurants, are closed, which is kind of crazy. I mean, I feel like it's definitely necessary at this point. I'm not definitely not complaining about it, but yeah, it's interesting times. Yeah, we'll see. You know, at first I think I was, when this first started to happen, which this thing has been sort of chasing me since January. Like I was in Asia out there in Thailand and whatnot, and had to come back early because things were getting a little sketchy out there. And, you know, like they were banning flights to China and like things like that. So I flew back home, and, you know, from there, you know, it's been fine. And then I went to LA to like do all this album promo stuff. And that's when like all like stuff really started to hit the fan, and like, yeah, like all these lockdown, you know, mandates and whatnot, and you know, Portland is also part of that. So I think pretty much everything on the West Coast is shut down. So yeah, really, really interesting times. So if I'm ever returning to Mixmag, well, now I don't know if we're going anywhere anytime soon. But no, U-Haul's referring to a mixtape that like a DJ mix we did for Mixmag in the UK. So we're in London at the time. Went over to their spot and did it. Maybe if it's remote, you know. What genre of music did you grow up listening to? I actually, it was kind of all over the place. I mean, I want to say Nirvana a little bit. That was like, it's the wrong tune. Or like, drop D. Okay. Okay, so Discord server. Actually, yeah, I do have one where this is all kind of in limbo because of the whole thing with you know, live touring basically going out the window. I'm actually doing like a whole Patreon thing, and the Discord is going to be kind of part of that. So I do have it, but it's I think we're going to launch it like sometime over the weekend and then like fully announce it on Wednesday. Okay, so how did I get into production? I got into production because I was tired of playing in bands, and like I had a lot of ideas and I wanted to record them and didn't want to have to tell somebody what to do. And it's just, I really love the process of just sitting here by myself and making, you know, something, basically. Any tips for a newbie? I mean, again, I think that's like a difficult question. I think you have to like be like truly passionate about it and just take in as much information as you can. Like, I don't think there's like one correct path. I mean, I think you need to find whatever, you know, find what like kind of moves you and just go from there. I think that's the way to do it. That's like super vague, but like I don't know how to be any more specific because the landscape changes like every other, you know, year. So like I could say, yeah, try to get on a Spotify playlist, but like next year that might not even matter. You know, I don't know. It's hard to say. Okay, so my cats are, what time is it? Yeah, it's not close to their dinner time yet, so they don't care. Oh, okay, so Ujo, yeah, the Ujo is I guess I should say, I don't want to say was, but like it's kind of in varying states right now, but basically Ujo is like a decentralized platform built on Ethereum, and I think it's like a really cool idea, and like I really love the whole team there, and you know, they were part of like a big organization. There's like a lot of changes and like things like that, and the market crashing, whatever, but you know, I still think that the ideas behind it are like super powerful, and there's already like another generation that's sort of like taking that and kind of picking up the mantle. So I am still quite excited for the space, and especially now with like everything that's been happening, I think it's going to accelerate. So I'm pretty optimistic. Yeah, so my cats actually really don't show much interest in like the modular. Oh, there's a cat. Hey, Juno. She does not care. What was I talking about? Yeah, so she actually loves sleeping next to the modular, but she doesn't ever mess with the cables or anything like that, fortunately. Yeah, so like in terms of like other platforms, like DTube and like all these other ones, like I guess like you know, I try to like it's a balance, right? Because you know, like at one stage I think I wanted to be on every platform, you know, I wanted to be as available as possible, whatever, you know, and I think at some point it ended up being too much. So I'm at a point where I'd rather focus on platforms that have, you know, an established user base. That, you know, obviously they have their issues. I mean, YouTube certainly has its fair share. But I think my approach is really just to, I guess, like narrow it down so I can at least deliver high quality content for each platform and not water anything down. And I definitely don't want to get into the situation where I'm just publishing the same stuff on every platform. Then why would you follow it in multiple places? So that's why I like doing live streaming on YouTube, and you know, Instagram is, you know, I kind of heavily focus on photography, which I really love, and you know, Twitter, I don't even use Twitter that much, honestly. It's just kind of like, you know, stupid jokes every once in a while. And that's kind of it. I mean, I'll post on Facebook too, but that doesn't seem to be, I don't get like a ton of engagement on there. And you know, like there's platforms like Spotify, which I have a decent following on there, but it's not, like it's, there's no way to really message them, like they control that. So I don't really see it as a social platform, even though it should. What else? What other platforms am I on? Those are kind of the ones I focus on, really. I can't think of anything else that really I spend that much time on. Here, I'm gonna play something else and maybe get some more questions in. Hey, Tuna. Cool. Let's get into some questions. What is your favorite new band? That's a good question. Let me pull up my Spotify. That's usually just where I keep stuff, and I'm really bad with names. Why is Spotify telling me about Corona? Oh. Cool. Okay, so, well, I guess maybe I'll just talk about like albums that I've been into. I mean, the new Fortet is amazing. I really like that. Also, this artist called Mild Minds, which has actually been from Miami Horror, but it's a solo project. I just did a recording session with him, and he showed me his stuff, and it was awesome. It's really good. So I've been sort of on that. This other artist called Reaper, a song called Heady. It's great. Salt. Let's see what else. The new Christine and the Queens is pretty good too. Oh, the new Caribou. I really like that record. Also, the new Tame Impala, obviously. There's this artist called Orion's Sun, which I really like. I think she's really cool. Deb Never as well. Maddie J, of course. Although I'm a little biased because we signed her to Minerva, my little label. Alex G is also, or in parentheses, Sandy Alex G. I've been really into that. Yeah, the new Soccer Mommy's pretty cool too. I don't know, there's a lot of stuff. It kind of fluctuates a lot. Okay. So is there a centralized theme for the new album? Yes, definitely. It's like, where do I start? It's like loosely based on my childhood, basically. That's why it's called Boy. The idea when I went into it was just to write like a ton of music that's sort of inspired by that period in my life. And it was a weird kind of upbringing. I grew up in Portugal, and yeah, I was just kind of secluded from everything and didn't really have, it was pre-internet, didn't have access to anything. And it was sort of a really pure time where, there was nobody telling me what to like and what not to like, or what's cool or what isn't. I just enjoyed music for what it was. And, it's no matter which way I look at it, it's different now. So it was sort of an attempt to go back to that and channel that into what I was writing. And it's not really inspired by like any specific artist or anything like that, really. It's more like inspired by a time, if that makes sense. It's kind of hazy. And let's see here. But yeah, just to wrap it up about the record, it took like 3 years to figure it out. It wasn't like I was working on it continuously for 3 years, but it was sorry, my cats are just, I don't think you can see them on camera, but they're just being ridiculous. Let me see if I can get her to move. Hey, Juju. Oh, no, she's running away. Okay. All right. I was talking about the record, yeah. So it's, it's pretty much, it's obviously been done since December. Just announced like all the vinyl packages and all that stuff. It's gonna be like pretty sick. Like they're all gonna be pink vinyl, which I'm like really stoked about. So we're not even doing black vinyl. I'm excited for it. It feels weird because it's been done for like a couple months now, and I'm just kind of ready for it to be out. And I've heard it so many times, and you guys have not. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Will I ever make a song on 5/4? There was a time in my life where I was like really into different weird time signatures and like metal and like crazy like riffage, like That sounds so bad. Yeah, maybe I can do it like this. It's so stupid. I don't know why I'm equating 5/4 with metal, but like my point is like technicality for the sheer sake of technicality is not that interesting to me. I'm not knocking it because like some people do amazing stuff. Like I mean Dave Brubeck's Time Out album where like every song is a different time signature. I think that's amazing, and he took like a limitation and created something beautiful out of it. So not saying never, I'm just not super interested in it. Hello from France. Hope you're staying safe. Do I have coronavirus? Not that I know of. I've been I've been quarantined-ish. Well, yeah, basically. I say like I usually stay home all day, so this is not that new to me. But yeah, basically, but I haven't been in contact with really anybody significantly for over a week, so I think I'm fine for now. Artists you haven't remixed yet, but you'd love to work with. Huh? That's a weird one because like. In a way, like I've just done so many of them that I've like, I really need to find something that is like creatively fulfilling. Otherwise, it's just boring. And that's not to say that I don't like doing it, but it's like it really needs to be something unique and special that I haven't done before. Basically, you know. Okay, favorite MIDI controller. I use the OP1, the Teenage Engineering OP1. Here, let me grab it. This dude. And I mean it's a great synth on its own. And I just have too many cables over here. Okay. It's not like there's no velocity to it, but then again, the way that I use MIDI is really just a program thing. So most of the work is done like in the computer. So I'm not really interested in playing stuff. That sounds so bad. Like I really love programming. Do you like Daft Punk? Of course, yeah. I mean, I have very vivid memories as a kid of listening to Around the World for the first time on the radio, and it was amazing. Christopher, so any features with Pink Feathers on the new record? So not on the record, but we have talked about like working on something in the future. So I'm probably going to do an EP later in the year too. So. Yeah, we'll see how that shakes out. So there's a lot of I want to actually like just put out more and more music instead of taking so long in between records. But yeah, I don't know. So the question about the demo reel. I mean, it's interesting because like my approach with that stuff is usually you're like, yes, of course, use it away. Especially if you use it on YouTube, it automatically gets like monetized or whatever. But what I will say is like pretty much everything I do isn't owned by just me. So it's not in a weird way. It's not like up to me. Especially with remixing, it's like technically owned by somebody else. So yeah, it's like yes, but I don't know. You can probably use it and it'd be fine. I wouldn't worry about it. I don't know. It sounded like an anime intro, but what is your dream collab? I mean, it's interesting, especially on this. Again, I'm gonna like not answer your question by giving you some more context, but basically, on the second record on Ego, I got to work with a lot of my heroes. I got to work with like Rivers from Weezer and like all this stuff, and over the years I've been able to work with people that I grew up with and really admire, and you know, of course there's like always going to be like a long list of people that I want to work with, you know, like Paul Simon and like crazy people like that it's just never going to happen. But I think on this new album I kind of learned somewhat of a valuable lesson, is that like obviously it's important to work with your idols, but like it's also kind of cool to work with people that are like just starting out and don't have like the sort of same inhibitions and baggage that comes with like a long career where you're supposed to do a certain thing, you know, because that just limits your creativity even more. So I really enjoyed working with all kinds of people on this one, and like from multiple, like Jamie Lydell has been around for a really long time, an amazing talented artist, to like somebody that's just starting out. And you know, I kind of appreciated that, you know, that difference. I don't know, it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. New album soon. So Erickson, apparently I have not been spamming this enough, but yes, I have an album May 8th. It's called Boy. Yeah. Okay, Steve is asking what song in your entire career took the longest to make. Oh, actually I do have an answer for that. Well, I could say for remixing, it was the Bob Marley one, because there was like, it was just a really intense, like, I don't know, there's just a lot of pressure. I mean, if you get asked to remix Bob Marley, you know, I really wanted to do a good job. And also the files that they sent were kind of messed up, and there was like this whole ordeal. Anyway, it took me about 2 or 3 weeks, something like that. I think my stream may have... No, it seems to be going. Okay, cool. So Mark, it took me a second to figure out what you were talking about. I don't know that band, sorry. Oh, backstory of Stitches. Okay, so yeah, I just uploaded this mix that I did for Diplo and Friends on BBC One and Radio One, and part of that mix, my whole idea is, instead of playing other people's music, whatever, doing a mixtape, which is totally cool. Props to people that do that, but I was like, no, I want to do something completely different. And so I did completely unreleased music. I mean, there's a couple in there that are out, but a couple exceptions, but the vast majority of the work on there is actually completely unreleased and new. And I kind of didn't tell anybody. So Stitches was the song that I wrote with Johnny from the drums, and around the time for Ego, and it was actually meant to be on that record at one point, and for a variety of different reasons it didn't quite fit. And then I was trying to do an EP called Alter Ego, which again I threw away, and I couldn't really find an outlet for it. And you know, so I have a lot of the music just kind of sitting around, you know, just waiting basically. So this was an opportunity to put it out there and in front of a lot of people. So I enjoyed that. But there's no plans to release it commercially or anything like that. It was just kind of a one-off thing. Although, again, I'm probably gonna do like a Patreon thing, get like exclusive mixes and stuff like that. So maybe I'll do it there. Okay, some blue guy, 41. Considering your music style dating from Strangers and Egos to now Boy, is there a constant style of sound that you tend to retain from the previous albums now. You know, it's interesting, the style, whatever RAC style, whatever you want to call that, like, it's not something that I actively think about. It's just what I do, you know. It's sort of the techniques, I think maybe from being self-taught, and it's something that I've just developed. Like, for example, like, I play in drop D a lot, so which is kind of a leftover from like the metal days, but it's just like, it's fun. You can create like interesting chords. It's like, it's a way to reach a little bit farther up the fretboard. And so I apply that to synths as well. Like when I do triads, I do like the root note, the fifth, like the fifth up, and then the third an octave up, if that makes sense. The idea is that, you know, it always has a lot of space in between, so it's not like a very sonically dense thing. The only time where I do like really complex chords is when it's like a single instrument, and then there's space to do that. But if you're just layering things, like, I really try to keep it as simple as possible. But to answer your question about the style, how to explain this? Like I said, I just don't think about it. I just do what feels right. And, you know, this kind of goes back to like an entire approach that I have to recording and to writing, which is that I essentially write music for myself, and that may sound selfish or whatever, but like, my approach is that, like, well, if I'm happy with it, then everybody else is going to be. Not that people have lower standards, but that, like, that's like, I know myself and I know what I like, so that instead of trying to chase some ephemeral thing that like other people might like, or, you know, whatever style du jour or whatever, like, I really like kind of just doing my own thing. And so far people keep showing up, so that's my take on it, you know. I'm not really not trying too hard. I'm just kind of doing my own thing. So is Stitches going to be released at some? I mean, probably, yeah. It'll come out at some point. Maybe I'll do it for like the Patreon thing, but I don't know. So I love the chromatics. I think they're great. It'd be really cool to do that. Okay, so like working with Linkin Park. Yeah, it's actually funny how this comes up a lot, because like, I think maybe due to the timing of it and whatnot, but basically I've been connected with Mike Shinoda, and super nice guy, like awesome dude, and he wanted me to try out a little bit of production on some of the songs that they were working on. So I went in the studio with him, and we didn't really work on anything in the studio, but like, he showed me a bunch of ideas, and then I came back here to my studio and worked on it. Although it was like in the middle of a tour, it was kind of really difficult to do a lot. And yeah, and you know, I worked on 2 songs, and so I never got to meet Chester or any of that, unfortunately. And it was mostly just remote work. Like, you know, I wish this was like kind of, you know, back in the day when everybody had to be in the studio, because there's like great stories that come out of that. But most of this is just like, hey man, can you do this? Okay, cool. All right, here you go. Okay, I like this idea. What if we try that? You know, that's kind of that's mostly what it is. It's not that glamorous, really. Yeah. So, you know, I worked on that, and then obviously Chester passed away, was really sad, and yeah, that became kind of, you know, just an important album because of that, you know. Oh, okay. So never let you go being on the album. Okay, so this happened. A lot of people are asking this question, and let me just clear the air. Basically, the song was never meant to be on the album. I mean, it's a cover. It was really important for me this to be an album of original work, and the song was originally actually just going to be like a small little B-side. We were going to do it like an exclusive track for Japan or like something like that. That was really the extent of it. And then once Hillary got involved, I mean, she's such a well-known figure, and the song came out so cool, and like, so we gave it an extra push, but it was never really meant to be on the album. And it exists everywhere. It's not like it's going anywhere. We don't have any plans for like a physical product, although I wouldn't really discount that. I mean, we might actually do like a little 7-inch or something like that. So I don't know. I mean, a lot of people were like, "Oh, why isn't it on the album? Why is it not on there?" It's like it was never meant to be. I never said it was. But I love that song, and I'm so happy that people really enjoy it. I'm just a huge fan of the original, so I wanted to like do it justice. Would you ever consider collabing with Jack London? Of course, yeah. I played a show with him last 2 years ago, maybe, something like that. He's a great dude. What is your favorite type of music to make? I like all music, honestly. I appreciate it all. Like, it's just yeah, I just like it. That's all I can say. Like, especially when because I've been working in music for so long, it's just, you come to appreciate everything, at least something. Even if there's a part, like, I'm not super into like jazz fusion, because to me it just sounds like noise, but like I can appreciate the technicality and like the sort of artistry behind it. I may not love it, but I don't know, I like everything, really. Okay, so the reprised version of I Can't Forget You. So what's funny about that is that, okay, so actually this is a funny story with Stitches and Can't Forget You. So those songs were written at the same time, a long time ago, and they're actually based on the same demo. So the demo that's playing underneath the vocal for Can't Forget You is actually the original demo that both Johnny from the drums and Chelsea Lanks wrote on. So at the time, this happens a lot, like where somebody just writes over the same track, and I have to like either pick one or the other, or I can basically remix it and like write another song underneath. So Stitches Can't Forget You and that demo are basically the same song, but I just kind of turned them into different things, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna answer a couple more. This was really just a test, and I'm already on here for like an hour. I think it's working. So, but I'm obviously planning on doing this a lot more because I'm stuck at home, like you guys. So, oh yeah, chapter 1. Oh, yeah, chapter 1's a nightmare. Basically. Yeah, chapter 1 is stuck in like legal limbo. It's annoying. It's boring. It's not even that exciting. It's like basically I have to relicense all the songs, even though I made them. I was paid for them, so I don't technically own them. And yeah, so I have to relicense them, and that takes a really long time. It's heavily negotiated, and I also have to sort of weigh the financial side of that. So. Okay, so what's the favorite synth bassline sound? Thank you, Steve. That's so nice. Appreciate that. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Okay, favorite synth bassline sound. I mean, the most iconic to me is the TB303, just acid house. I mean, it's like undeniable. You find it everywhere, But like for bass, I actually use mostly the Juno 60 and sometimes the Moog Voyager. Cool. And a lot of remixers are not well integrated. What's the process to make remixes not sound remixy? Okay, this is something I like to complain about a lot. When you're sending vocal files to remixers, it's very normal for the producer, whoever makes the song, to just print all their effects on vocals. So like all these delays and like reverbs and like stuff, which sounds amazing in the original, but the second you start remixing it, you have competing effects and it just sounds like garbage, honestly. Especially if you're doing any kind of pitch shifting or like moving things around. So I always ask for dry vocals. I think it's really important. It's a battle. Like basically anytime somebody asks for a remix, you know, and we're negotiating whatever, I'm always like, do you have dry vocals? Do you have dry vocals? Like, I need dry vocals. I need it. So that's one way. I think that's probably the most specific advice I could give. More broadly speaking, I think it's just, doing what feels right. It's an intuitive thing. I mean, if a song is like this mellow, you're not gonna add like this super loud stuff, or sorry, that's probably way too loud, and like add this like crazy 808 drum beat to it or whatever. Like it'll probably sound like garbage. So like, I don't know, feel it out. Like do something that's appropriate. Like it's not that hard. Like, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna take a couple more. Thanks again, Steve. I really appreciate that, man. Okay, Tamik, in what genre would you say Boy is? I mean, it's definitely pop. It's but it's more guitar oriented than a lot of the other stuff. Yeah. It's you can tell that I have no idea what I'm talking about. Like I think it's like a mix of a lot of different things, but it's like this weird hybrid in between like electronic and live and guitar stuff. I'd say if I had to pick like one genre, I'd say indie pop, but that's so vague. I don't know. It's what felt right. Yeah. I complain about. I definitely complain about dry vocals all the time. Well, guys, I think I'm gonna call it. But it's been real. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe. Wash your hands. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna like keep a schedule with the live stream stuff or just kind of do it whenever. I don't know. I'm still figuring that out. But yeah, I'm gonna try like multiple formats. Like some of me like actually working in the studio. I think maybe some guitar chat type of stuff like this. Maybe I'll add like a drum machine and just kind of write some stuff on the fly or whatever. I don't know, maybe some modular stuff. I don't know, I'm kind of figuring it out. So let me know in the comments or whatever. I guess by the time I end this, yeah. Anyway, see you guys. It's been real. You see this? It's so awful.